7 years ago, back in June, WWE removed Paul Heyman as Raw's executive director after not even 1 year in charge. The company publicly explained this was to streamline the creative process, and definitely not to provide a sacrificial lamb for the upcoming investors' call about falling ratings. But according to a new report, it seems like they've accomplished neither. Despite initial optimism about the Thunderdome era amongst the creative team, Gary Cassidy of Sportskeeda is reporting Raw has been massively struggling backstage. WWE didn't announce any matches for last night's episode until 70 minutes before the show was about to start, because Vince McMahon hadn't even looked at the script until he boarded his jet to the Amway Center, which is the old rich guy version of finishing your homework on the bus. While SmackDown has a single creative force driving it right now under Bruce Pritchard, the two names spearheading Raw are apparently not up to the task of getting the show done in time, or getting input from talent in a timely manner, with one of Cassidy's sources saying Raw has really fallen apart without Paul Heyman driving the creative. Heyman, of course, is also now on SmackDown as Roman Reigns' heel advocate. Perhaps it's all just elaborate long-term booking for Survivor Series and brand warfare. They've just got to quell the roster warfare first. WWE reportedly told talent last week they had 30 days to stop using third-party platforms like Twitch and Cameo, or risk being fined, suspended, or even fired. The roster was apparently confused by what exactly the third-party restrictions meant though, so WWE clarified their new rules to talent before last night's Raw, and seemingly relaxed some of the bans to appease a disgruntled locker room. Dave Meltzer reported talent would be able to keep their Twitch and YouTube accounts, but they have to do so using their real names, not their WWE names, and they must inform WWE of their accounts. This contradicts a letter WWE sent out last week, where the company claimed they also owned talent's real names. The clarification was again described as super vague. After 3 years of saying it's going to happen, WWE finally uploaded content from their partnered indie promotions Evolve, Progress, WXW and ICW to the network in July. Probably one of the worst times to do so, in the wake of June's speaking out allegations that accused numerous wrestlers who had prominently featured for those promotions. The Wrestling Observer newsletter is reporting WWE has altered some of this new content because of the allegations, like the WXW Toronto 2019 show by removing the opening fatal four-way match between Daniel Maccabee, Seema, Chima, Brent Banks and Julian Pace, and an angle involving David Starr and NXT UK champion Walter. Pace had previously been released from his WXW deal following allegations against him, while allegations against David Starr led to several promotions severing ties with him and stripping him of his titles. Now it's time to review last night's WWE Raw in about 5 minutes. Thanks for your support on Patreon. The Roller Coaster, Robert Acosta, and Ronald Coleman, baby. Michael Cole's voice opened the show from outer Tom Phillips being on holiday, because apparently they're not the same person, although I've never seen them together in the same room. Cole's commentary was actually really good. Randy Orton said he should just be handed the WWE title after he took out Drew McIntyre 2 weeks ago, when he was interrupted by a local medical facility vehicle sirens being driven into the Thunderdome, because ambulances are like Ubers, I guess, for Drew to bust out and hit Randy with a Claymore. Adam Pearce, who now kayfabe runs WWE it seems, asked Drew to leave so he couldn't do anything else to Orton, prompting the night-long thread of McIntyre walking around permanently on his phone like he's channeling 2017 General Manager era Kurt Angle, promising he'll be going soon, and then Claymore Orton for the DQ in yet another Keith Lee match, and then again backstage. Keith being a lost prop to the Orton-McIntyre feud aside, I love how this feud is being built around finisher counts. None were hit at SummerSlam, and now they're 3 apiece in surprise attacks. Despite being built up for months next, WWE managed to make Cedric Alexander's long-teased heel turn a bit of a wet fart. The constant bait and switch story was further muddied by the Hurt Business attacking Cedric before their 6-man tag, which paid off with Cedric joining them when he beat up his tag partners Ricochet and Apollo Crews. Confirming the heel turn, Cedric explained his actions in a VIP lounge segment later on, where he said he's sick of sacrificing himself for Apollo and Ricochet's opportunities, and now he wants that dollar. The Viking Raiders, Ricochet and Apollo came out for a brawl, and holla holla, wouldn't you believe it, we've got ourselves an 8-man tag, players. This was a fun match with some surprisingly heartbreaking interactions between freshly broken up tag partners Cedric and Ricochet. Hopefully they get a singles feud now, because those matches would be phenomenal. Unfortunately, the match seemingly had to be cut short when Ivar immediately threw up the X signal after his dive outside. An audible appeared to be called, so Cedric beat Ricochet with a Mikanoshu driver, not his finisher, which Ricochet actually kicked out of. A botch, sure, but understandable because of the injury. Meanwhile, in Purgatory, Angel Garza and Andrade are still splitting up, and they're also still having matches with the Street Profits. Andrade's loss was hopefully the end of their never-ending story. As the SmackDown Tag Team Champions Cesaro and Shinsuke Nakamura came out to challenge the Profits as part of the quarterly Cross-Brand Invitational. What are the rules? R-Truth ran away from Akira Tozawa in a restaurant. To cement last week's split, former Iconics partners Peyton Royce took on Billy Kay in a match that rather impressively had no heat even from an artificially piped-in crowd noise. Royce won and the two hugged afterwards. Raw Women's title opponents Asuka and Mickie James teamed up against Natalya and Lana, brought to you by Bang Energy. Asuka blind tagged herself in to win with the Asuka lock to sow some slight seeds of dissension with Mickie. As much as I love Keith Lee versus Randy Orton, they've had the same match 3 times in 2 weeks now. Keith blocking the RKO just by being massive was great, but Drew cost him the match and he just Thanos'd away like he doesn't care. Keith needs to keep beating people to continue his momentum. Shane McMahon then opened the Thunderground door for Kevin Owens, and then the big guy opened the door for Shane, potentially revealing a bit of Raw Underground magical lore gone unnoticed until now. You can only enter Shane McMahon's Sweaty Scuffle Club if someone else lets you in. Maybe they're all vampires. I'm trying to create my own fun here, because Raw Underground is a load of crap. Kevin Owens took on Aleister Black in easily the biggest Thunderground match so far, so Raw cut to a commercial as soon as it started, then to a backstage segment with Orton and Pierce, then to Shayna Baszler losing to the Riot Squad in a handicap match, then back to KO versus Black, then to Nia Jax just about to lose to Liv and Ruby, then to a Retribution promo, then half an hour after they started, yet only having about a minute of screen time, back to Owens and Black being called off because Dabba Kato beat them both up. Raw Underground is just terrible, as is the booking of the handicap matches in between here, with backwards psychology for the newly reunited Riot Squad babyfaces getting the 2-on-1 advantage, really diminishing the only proper team on Raw to challenge for the women's tag belts, and making Baszler not cool. And also the handling of Retribution, making the lights cut out just before Jax was pinned. Retribution cut a very over-scripted promo with crappy WWE dialogue. This Thunderdome is a facade. Behind this mountain of screens is the same foundation, the same WWE as before, who discarded and disowned us, leaving us to survive in an unfair world. So it's a play on the release people back in April? This is their first proper explanation of who they are and their motives, and it came across incredibly generic and sanitized, which is exactly what you don't want for a faction that's meant to be a force of chaos. Thankfully, the main event was absolutely terrific, because part of Rey Mysterio's contract renegotiations appears to be also sign my entire family. All your favorite Mysterios were ringside for Dominic's street fight against Buddy. Dominic impressed yet again with a great crossbody off the Thunderdome stands and an amazing sunset flip powerbomb outside through a table. And in a cathartic, lovely family bonding finish, all the Mysterios tied Buddy up in the ropes and all took turns whacking him with kendo sticks as Rey screamed at Seth down the camera, with each member of the Mysterio family getting their revenge. Over and over again, for like quite a while. Guys, I think you can stop now. Those Mysterios, they sure have some things to work out. So that was this week's Raw in about 5 minutes. Let me know what you thought of the show in the comments down below, because I'll be replying to people from out of the Mysterios still hitting Buddy with kendo sticks. Man, they are still going for it. Don't let the main event and some fun McIntyre vs. Orton stuff fool you. This was a crap show. Just like Retribution said, this might be the updated Thunderdome era, but it's the same old WWE, as in all the same storylines and feuds that passed their expiration dates long ago. This week's Raw is poor. Now lukewarm Luke Owen has gone from WrestleTalk, the Authority has regained control of the WrestleTalk Clips YouTube channel that he temporarily named WrestleLuke. Well, in my infinite wisdom, because I know what you want, I've rebranded it for something better. WrestleTalk Underground! Until Mr. Chopper said Wrestle2 was probably a better name. Probably right. The Authority commands you to subscribe to Wrestle2 now for new WrestleTalk shows, Louis Dangour's interview series, and bite-sized clips of the podcast. Start by watching our all-out live reactions by clicking the video on the right. And Rusev has shot hard on WWE. Click the video beneath that to find out why. I've been Mr. Davis, your jam, that champion. Subscribe to Wrestle2 now.